Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a very special episode of Muslimi Meets, where we get a chance to meet wonderful, amazing Muslims from all walks of life. We are so honored today to be joined by the wonderful Imam Zaid Shakir, who's with us. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
It's an honor to have you here with us alongside my co-hosts, Yusuf Faqiri and Sister Ashley Pearson Khan. Sheikh, as we were talking earlier, you're a man, mashallah, tabarakallah, who's seen a lot. And growing up in the U.S., growing up at a time when you grew up, experiencing the things that you've seen, for a lot of our Muslim youth nowadays who are feeling the brunt of Islamophobia, feeling pressures from outside, not being able to navigate their Muslim identity, what are some of the challenges and what are some of the maybe things that we can work on that you see in our community of how do we empower our youth to be strong like the generations before us?
Alhamdulillah. The honor is all mine. First of all, I think it's very important for the young people to realize there's nothing new. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were pressures for him to conform.
Yes.
He was called crazy. He's majnoon. He was called a magician. He was insulted. He was abused. He was stoned. He was spat on. And so this is nothing new for the believer. I think the key is for us is right there, the believer. We have to understand we're people of faith, and being people of faith, we're not like people who lack faith. And so our faith elevates us.
Allahu Akbar.
وَأَنْتُمْ أَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. You are elevated if indeed you are believers. So that's the first thing. We have to hold on to our faith and understand that gives us a source of strength that we lack when we don't have faith. And the stronger our faith, the stronger our ability to negotiate anything that's out there. The stronger our ability to say, Allah Ta'ala tells us, لَتُبْلَوُنَّ فِي أَمْوَالِكُمْ وَأَنفُسِكُمْ. You're going to be tested in your wealth. And those tests, you might not get this job because you're not going to wear a rainbow flag on your clothes. Our establishment, we wear, I'm not. You could do that. That's your thing. Fine. My principles, my values are antithetical to what that represents. Then you're not getting the job. You're going to be tested in your wealth. The Imam from New Zealand was here. وَأَنفُسِكُمْ, your lives. 52 people were killed. That's 52 shaheeds.
Allahu Akbar.
And that's real. They have express lane, whatever they call in Canada, fast track
express lane.
to Jannah.
Allah.
To Jannah. We're out there in the traffic.
We're in rush hour.
The Toronto
trying to
traffic
find
is
some
rough.
cash, credit card, and they
The
just
tolls and everything.
Zoom.
Allahu Akbar.
And so we have to realize that's part of our religion. Sacrifice, struggle is part of our religion. And Allah is with us. And Allah will open doors. وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. One who relies on Allah, Allah suffices them. Allah suffices them. And Allah will open doors. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And Allah will bestow His bounties, graces, mercy upon the person from ways they can never imagine. So we might think, if I compromise, I get it easy. If I stand firm, it's going to be hard. No, it could be the opposite. You compromise and all sorts of difficulties start to come into your life. You stand firm and Allah makes ease for you. So we have to really be firm. We have to be firm on faith. We have to be firm on the sunnah of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we're trying to follow the prophetic way and keep it alive in the world. And if that means sacrifices for me, for the benefit of those coming after me, that's what it means. Because if I compromise now, what do those coming after me, what do they have? And then I think it's important for us to realize even Bruce Jenner, who's known as Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
I know, back in the day, Bruce Jenner, decathlon champion.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
So Bruce Jenner, he was interviewed and he said, people like me have a legitimate problem. And I'm not going to question whatever someone's wrestling with, but he said, a lot of this stuff going on is just a fad. And people jumping on a bandwagon. And a lot of Muslims, it's a fad, and without thinking, they're jumping on the bandwagon.
Right.
And I feel and think we understood our spiritual life and is to eradicate the I and to focus on Allah.
Allahu Akbar.
And so I feel, all right, you feel, what does Allah feel? And whose feelings should get priority? Who should? You are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're a believer. So, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. One who fears the time they will stand before Allah. مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ, and denies their soul the things it inclines towards. So you might be inclining towards this. I have same-sex attraction. I have this, that, or the other. That might be your inclination, but you fight that, fearing the time you will stand before Allah. You have Jannah.
Allahu Akbar.
You have فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. And someone might say, oh, that's easy for you, not knowing what we're struggling with. It might not be that, it might be something else. But, okay, it is easy for me, and it's hard for you. But we have a principle in our religion, الْأَجْرُ بِقَدْرِ الْمَشَقَّةِ, that your reward is commensurate to the difficulty of your struggle.
Right.
One who recites Quran and stammers and stutters has two rewards. The reward for their recitation, the reward for their struggle.
Allah.
The one who sounds like Abdul Basit has one reward, just the recitation. This guy, he's struggling and trying to remember ahkam tajweed and put it all together, and it's not coming out quite right. He gets the reward for the recitation and the struggle. The reward is commensurate to the magnitude of the struggle. So if someone says, I'm really wrestling with this and struggling with this, but I'm going to fight this for the sake of Allah, Jannah.
Allahu Akbar.
Jannah, it's not about this world. I think the people, I was talking last night on the stage, like all of these people that is pulling so many Muslims off track, none of them are Muslim. They're not even Christians. They're all atheists. Foucault, Marcuse, Derrida, all of these people are not Muslim. Marx and Engels and Heidegger and none of them are believers. They're atheists. And so we're following atheists. We I don't want to follow the Sufis. I don't want to follow the Salafis. I don't want to follow the Madhabis. But you want to follow an atheist. Malakum kayfa tahkumun. So I just encourage the youth, let's use our heads. Let's use our heads. Let's be strong. This whole thing wants to break down strength, especially the strength of the males.
SubhanAllah.
And then our sisters know one to marry, because men don't want to be strong. We're feminizing the men, we're infantilizing the men. Akhi, you're 35 years old. Why are you playing video games all day?
Shots fired. Well, you're not wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Man,
you're not wrong.
Get a backbone, man. Go get a job and go marry one of these sisters. Man, come on. Get some spine.
Hey, all right, Sheikh. I hear you. Sheikh, look, one thing that I want our youth to really understand, the older generations, the people who came before us, and I'm not calling you old, Sheikh. You still look good, mashallah. Yeah. No, Sheikh. You look good, mashallah. You look good, Sheikh.
Inshallah. I do my push-up.
Alhamdulillah. Your generation, and I talk about even my parents' generation, they have gone through so much, right? There's a difference with the children we have today, the youth we have today. This is the snowflake culture. People get very offended.
Yeah.
There's this movement where it doesn't matter what you say. People look for reasons to get offended.
Yeah, I'm a victim.
Everyone's a victim. What can we do to build that resiliency in our youth? Because what your generation and the people before us have experienced, I feel like has built a level of tolerance to real life that sometimes our generation lacks. We just came out of a pandemic, and everybody was really stressed out. What can we do to help build more resiliency in our youth?
Yeah, I appreciate the way you frame that. I really do. I think we just have to start with those who want it. They might be going through it, and it's affected them, but I don't want to be like this. And start with those, and then work your way out through them. Because like you said, I'm getting old, okay?
No, you still good, man. You still good. You still look good, mashallah.
But a 20-year-old can talk to his or her fellow 20-year-olds more effective than I can. But if I could talk to that one, because I'm ready to listen.
Right.
And then we work with those that see that something's wrong and they want to work through it. Those the ones we can help to uplift and empower so they can then go out and work with their peers. So I think just identify those who want it.
Right.
Like someone might hear this and say, you know, I was listening and listen, man, I don't want to be part of this generation. I don't want to be a snowflake.
Right.
I don't want to be a victim, just waiting. Victim, there's two things. You're waiting for someone to do something to you or for you. And the people that are going to do something to you, a lot of times they're not nice people. They're not going to do nice things to you. And the people you're counting on to do something for you, if they can get away with it, they're not going to do anything for you. So you just caught out. But you stand up and like James Brown, like, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Just open the door, I'll take it myself.
Straight up.
And so find those who want to just open the door for me, give me some guidance, and I'll take it from there. Identify those, work with those, and then let them do their thing.
If any of you guys want to jump, I have a lot of questions. I won't stop asking, so I'll let you guys jump.
I did want to kind of come off of something you said. You know, you said sometimes like a 20-year-old might reach out to another 20-year-old and communicate with them better than somebody who's older. They might listen to their peers who are closer in age, right? So for those who are younger, and it applies to adults, not just the youth as well, but for someone who's like high on their iman, when they see a brother or sister struggling to come and read their Quran or pray, what advice would you give, like the youth, for example, of how to help their other peers come to Islam, come back to prayer if they see them struggling? What advice would you give them?
I would just tell them, those who are able to influence others, look at how effective negative influencers are, to use the popular term. You can be a positive influencer. And not only will you get your reward, you'll get a share of their reward also. And so be a positive influencer and then support them. So it's one thing to say, listen, you have good traits. We see you don't want this, and that's good. Go talk to your peers. No, we're going to empower you. We're going to help you. We're going to help you set up a center. We're going to give you access to these kind of media platforms that will amplify your voice. You know, we're going to help work you through college or university in an area that's going to make you more qualified and effective to do the things you know you need to do. So actually helping them, taking them by the hand, assisting them, opening doors for them that they might not be able to open, give them access to platforms like, okay, listen, I see you I'm going to do everything to get you on the stage at RIS. So all these youth, these thousands see you, and now you're a star.
Yeah.
And we'll work with you to keep the nafs in check also.
Yeah.
Because you're young, and
that's a big challenge too.
So we're gonna give you all the support you need and try to give you the voice that you need to take your ability to influence your peers to another level.
You know, Zaid, mashallah, there's so much to unpack. You know, in a time where we live, where we wear our faith in such fragility, here we see someone who's the epitome of wearing their faith with such pride, mashallah, with such pride and such vigor that is nothing short of inspiration. So just quickly, and I know I don't want to take too much of your time here, but like, where's this coming from in the sense, like, was there someone influential or like your own path where, you know, you're inspiring us to a point where like, we need to do more, right? I would love to hear that. Like,
I think one of the things that we had, Islam was a counterculture. So when you joined it, you knew you were going against the societal grain. So we were influenced by people like Malcolm, people like Muhammad Ali, who were going against the grain. Like Ali, and really people don't realize the magnitude of Ali, but he said, you know, I'm not going to go kill someone halfway around the world. I'm a Muslim. Allah doesn't allow me. And he said, you could put me in front of a firing squad, and I'm not going to back down.
Allahu Akbar.
So those were role models. Those are inspirations. And when you join Islam, you're like, I'm joining into that. I'm joining into Malcolm. I'm joining into Muhammad Ali. I'm joining a movement that has members whose lives are being threatened. That means my life might be threatened. But if that comes with the package, I'll accept it. And so I think we need to now, I just want to go along to get along. I don't want to rock any boats. You know, that's, you know, I heard a fatwa that this or that. So I think it's instilling that sense of militancy and rebellion in our youth. No, I'm not going with the grain. I'm going against it. And I think here in Canada, for example, I think is I mentioned this yesterday, I think it's important, especially to get involved with the native struggle.
Yeah.
Like who people have been really marginalized.
Very much so.
And like they don't even exist.
Thank you for mentioning that.
And all this prosperity and all this talk about rights. You go out to those reservations and people living in shacks and the youth are devastated by crystal meth and the suicide rates are off the chart, but they're struggling and they're resisting. No drinking water. And so you start tapping into that, then you get that militancy like, hey, something's wrong with the status quo. I can see why they're trying to ram all this stuff down our throats. I can see why they're trying to neutralize us and make us passive. And so I think that's a part of it, just looking at ways to revive that militant spirit, and not in a stupid, foolish way.
Yeah,
I need to blow something up, but in a way that something's wrong, and I want to be part of the solution. And if that means the people who are orchestrating, perpetuating the wrong, they have a problem with me, I'm honored to be their problem.
Allahu Akbar. Sheikh, you're an inspiration to all of us. We're all your students, mashallah. The work that you've done has inspired many people who are going on to inspire others. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you.
Ameen.
May Allah azza wa jal always keep you firm. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow all your work to be a sadaqah jariyah for you, inshallah, on the day when we need it the most. We thank you for your time. I know it's very precious. We don't want to take too much of it. So thank you for joining us, Sheikh. Thank you for my co-host being with us. And thank you all for watching. Jazakumullah khair and take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.